Most multimillion-dollar HVAC companies are not built on fixing air conditioners. They are built on selling certainty while hiding the brutal decisions, ugly cash gaps, and one contract mistake that can bury the owner, the crew, and every customer counting on cold air in a Texas summer. In this video, you will see how a little-known installer named Cal Mercer went from a rusted van and $6,000 to a company doing more than $18 million a year, and why the part people celebrate online leaves out the uncomfortable truth. His house was on the line, tech paychecks were on the line, elderly customers were stuck in triple-digit heat, and one pricing blunder should have ended everything. But it did not. The reason matters. Cal was not a prodigy. He was a service tech in Fort Worth who knew compressors, airflow, and attic heat, but he did not know bookkeeping, marketing, or contracts. After the shop he worked for sold to a private equity roll-up, dispatch got tighter, callbacks got rushed, and older homeowners got treated like ticket numbers. He saw two things at once: the trade was full of money, and most companies were terrible at making customers feel safe. So in 2012, at 31, he left with a used van, borrowed gauges, a recovery machine, and a legal pad full of repeat clients. The first year looked smaller than the legend. Cal answered calls himself, ran service until midnight, then wrote invoices at his kitchen table before dawn. He wrapped the van in clean white vinyl, wore pressed shirts even on grimy jobs, and answered the phone like a larger company because homeowners do not buy technical skill first. They buy confidence. Revenue hides pain. Cash exposes it. What does a one-truck contractor really sell? Not refrigerant. Not labor hours. He sells the feeling that someone competent is finally in control. That single idea shaped everything that came next. He offered same-day diagnostics, flat-rate repairs, and photos before and after every job. He started simple memberships at $19 a month, not because the math was perfect, but because recurring revenue kept dispatch steady in spring and fall. Then he did something most small shops skip: he tracked every lead source on a spreadsheet. Yard signs near completed jobs beat expensive mailers. Short local videos beat generic ads. 5-star follow-up texts beat both. By 2016 he had 4 vans, 8 employees, and a reputation for showing up when bigger outfits missed the window. Success made Cal confident, and confidence slowly made him sloppy. He hired quickly, promoted the loudest tech to field supervisor, and started chasing commercial work because the invoices were bigger. Bigger compared to what, though? Margin is not the same as volume, and volume can drown a company just as fast as drought. A regional apartment operator offered a 3-year maintenance deal covering 11 properties. It promised steady work, predictable scheduling, and enough revenue to double the fleet. Cal signed fast. He should have read slower. The agreement locked labor rates for 36 months, capped emergency charges, and required response times that sounded manageable until summer hit. There was no fuel adjustment, no parts escalation, no overtime trigger, and no language protecting him if suppliers raised equipment prices. Then 2021 and 2022 rewrote the market. Parts stretched from days to weeks. Wage pressure jumped. Insurance climbed. Refrigerant theft spiked. His techs were driving farther, working later, and producing less profit on every apartment call. The company looked busy, maybe even booming, but each service ticket quietly bled cash. Cheap work buys busy days and expensive nights. Cal tried to outrun the loss with more calls. Dispatch stacked the board. Training slipped. Paperwork lagged. One August night a rookie helper missed a cracked flue on a furnace swap at an older property. Carbon monoxide alarms went off the next morning, 3 tenants were treated and released, and a resident posted the story before Cal even heard about it. The video spread across local groups with the same question every contractor fears: if they rush that job, what else are they rushing? The apartment client froze payments. Residential customers started canceling. a lawyer called 2 days later. That was the week Cal finally opened his financials without excuses. The company was doing just under $4.2 million in sales and had barely enough cash for 12 days of payroll. Vans were financed. Inventory was financed. Even growth was financed. How many owners brag about revenue while borrowing against next month to survive this month? He met with a turnaround-minded CPA who said the hard truth in one sentence: you do not have a sales problem, you have a model problem. Cal stopped defending the past and started cutting into it. First, he fired the apartment contract. Not negotiated. Fired. He offered a 60-day transition, took the legal hit, and accepted that keeping a bad deal is usually more expensive than ending it. Second, he split the company into 3 scoreboards: service, replacement, and maintenance memberships. For the first time he could see which division created cash, which one soaked up labor, and which techs were rescuing margin versus destroying it. Third, he raised residential prices, added after-hours minimums, and wrote parts escalation into every new commercial agreement. Complaints went up briefly. Profit went up permanently. Then he dealt with the part nobody likes to talk about: leadership. Cal had built a business where being useful mattered more than being disciplined. That ended. He replaced the field supervisor, wrote installation checklists that had to be photo-verified, and gave every tech stop work authority if something looked unsafe. Does accountability scare good employees away? Sometimes. But chaos chases away the best ones first. He told the crew, "We protect customers, we protect each other, and we document everything." The slogan was simple, but it changed behavior because raises, bonuses, and promotions were tied to it. Next came positioning. Before the crisis, Mercer Air had marketed speed and low hassle. After the crisis, it sold verified comfort, clean installs, clear communication, transparent photos, and no surprise pricing. That may sound like normal business, but in home service, normal done consistently looks premium. Cal sponsored youth baseball scoreboards, local weather alerts, and neighborhood email newsletters, then paired that with search ads only inside his highest margin zip codes. He was not trying to look enormous anymore. He was trying to look trustworthy, local, and relentlessly organized. That shift brought back referrals faster than any discount ever had. By 2024 the company was healthy again, but Cal still made one more mistake that looked smart on a whiteboard and terrible in the real world. Consultants convinced him Mercer Air sounded too small, so he renamed the business Vector Climate Systems. New trucks, new logo, new website, new uniforms. Homeowners hated it. Calls came in asking if the company had sold. Longtime customers thought their memberships were cancelled. Lead conversion fell almost 20% in 6 weeks. Why? Because people did not trust the new Polish. They trusted the old promise. Cal brought back the Mercer name, kept the better systems, and learned that reputation compounds faster than graphics. With the identity fixed, the company scaled for real. Cal stopped chasing every kind of work and focused on 2 lanes: higher-end residential replacement and recurring light commercial service for medical offices and small warehouses. He built dispatch rules around geography, job size, and technician strengths. He installed call recording, arrival texts, digital inspections, and financing options that were explained before the tech ever reached for a tool. Could a blue-collar shop run with big company systems without turning into a soulless machine? Yes, if the systems protect the customer instead of trapping them. That distinction made the brand stronger. By 2026 Mercer Air had 32 trucks, 51 employees, a membership base above 4,000, and trailing revenue north of 18 million with real earnings, not vanity revenue. The company kept 90 days of operating cash, reviewed gross margin weekly, and paid sales commissions on collected cash rather than signed paper. That last rule stopped the small business version of fake growth, where owners celebrate booked work that never turns into healthy money. Cal was no longer the hero in every truck. He had become the operator who made boring decisions early enough to avoid dramatic ones later. So what are the repeatable lessons here? Takeaway number 1, never lock long-term service pricing without labor, fuel, and material adjustment language. If costs can move, your contract must move too. Takeaway number 2, set a minimum job size and after-hours floor, because emergency work without pricing discipline is just overtime charity. Takeaway number 3, hire for process, not swagger. The tech who talks biggest is not always the one you should trust with training, safety, or customers. Takeaway number 4, track the business by division. Service, install, and memberships behave differently, and hiding them inside one big revenue number is how owners stay confused. Takeaway number 5, market the meaning, not just the task. Homeowners are not buying gauges and sheet metal, they are buying relief, order, and confidence. If you run a trade business, ask yourself one uncomfortable question: are you growing, or are you just getting louder? If this story helped you think like an operator, like the video and subscribe to Work Boots to Wealth. We break down the moves behind blue-collar wealth, including the mistakes owners usually bury. Because the hidden truth in the trades is simple: the company that lasts is rarely the cheapest, the flashiest, or the busiest. It is the one that knows its numbers, owns its failures fast, and protects trust like a balance sheet every single day.